Andy and Jason were pulling up this sandy ridge, and all of a sudden there's flames coming out from under the bonnet. The last thing they did before they left was to buy an extinguisher for the trailer and one for the car. So they jumped out quickly and put the fire out. But the whole engine bay was cooked. There was no being able to fix it. Now, me and my big mouth says, if there's anything I can do to help you, just give me a yell. Okay? Now, when you make that statement, you've got to be prepared to follow it through. They towed, I don't know how that happened, but anyway, that was supposed to be changed last night. They towed the four-wheel drive to Bendigo. Bendigo, who's been to Cape York, by the way? No one. Okay, Bendigo is the last town before the very top. And they towed the car up, and they decide to write it off, so it gets put on a barge and goes back to Cairns. They have a camper trailer behind the car. They have the new truck that Jonathan kind of put together at the last minute that's still 20 years old. And they decided to put all their gear into that truck and the trailer, and Jonathan and Tabitha would take it back to Cairns and bring it all home, and the others would fly home. So that was great. That all happened. Mandy and Jason and Abby hopped on the plane at Bendigo and flew to Cairns. Jonathan and Tabitha hopped in the four-wheel drive and started going down the road, and it started making noises it shouldn't have made. Had to turn around and go back to Bendigo, only to find out it's either the gearbox or the back diff, or the diff and the gearbox that for some reason has started to play up, and we're wondering whether that was the reason that got sold in the first place. Okay, so that vehicle now has to make its way back to Cairns by barge as well. All of their stuff is still in Bendigo. So I got a phone call last Friday. We're going to have to go and get the trailer. Can you come for a drive? All right. When are we leaving? I'm flying, Jason says, I'm flying from Cairns to Coolangatta. Laura picks me up on Saturday at Coolangatta. And Karina, which is Jonathan's mother, said we can have a lend of one of her four-wheel drives. And we're going to turn around, you and I, drive to Cairns, pick up Jonathan, then drive to Cape York, pick up the trailer, come back to Cairns and back home. Yeah, right. Okay, can you do that? And I said, well, I've got to do the church service in Casino on Saturday, and we've agreed to go to someone's place for lunch. So once we've done all that, we can leave, which I thought was good because that just put me over, outside of Sabbath. So on the way home from Casino Church, my daughter's car that we were driving, it broke down. So in my really good clothes, I had to put it back together on the side of the road, and we got home. And by then, Jason's walking around circles. We hop in the car, and we left at 5:30 on Sabbath last week. 3:30 the next afternoon, we'd pulled into Cairns. We slept till 12 o'clock. We're back in the car, and by 4 o'clock on Monday afternoon, we're at Bendigo. It's 1,000 kilometres, and I think 600 of it is really rough dirt road. And because we're in a ute that was empty, and the corrugates are this deep, and life got very interesting several times because it just skipped across the road and around circles, and anyway, God answers prayers, right? Somehow that car kept on going. We've already destroyed 3 cars, right? And Karina was big enough to give us a 3-year-old car. a special car to her. And we're up there. We got up there all right. I got a photo. It's the first time I've ever been to Cape York. I got a photo of me beside the sign at the tip. Went back. We reorganised things around and loaded up, and we actually had a good night's sleep. By that stage, I was really needing a good night's sleep. So we slept from about 8 o'clock till 5. Then we packed up camp and we drove off. I drove for 2.5 hours on the dirt road, which I really loved. I loved driving dirt roads better than tar. Then the boys took over. We got to Cairns by 8 o'clock. That's 1,000 kilometres between 6 and 8. And in that time, Jonathan had got a phone call and it said, we need to have a very urgent business meeting at 8:30 on Wednesday night in Ballina. So we didn't have time to stop at 8 o'clock. What night did I say? It was about Tuesday night. We pulled in to Ballina at 8:30 on Wednesday night. We'd travelled non-stop for a whole day and a half. And God kept us awake somehow. There was one guy in the back sleeping, one driving and one running shotgun. Now his job was to make sure that that bloke never went to sleep. And if he did, you had to wake him up quickly. And thankfully that didn't happen. We got home safely. He got to his meeting and we did this amazing trip in such a short period of time. God looks after us even when we do silly things, because we were really pushing the limits on fatigue and everything else. And I won't tell you that one of the guys in the car that had the flu. So by the time we got back, we all had the flu. And then I had to, I prayed. Once I started to feel that I was getting sick, I started praying. I said, Lord, it doesn't matter what happens. I can't be sick on Sabbath because I've got to go to Grafton. Rob rang me up and he said, are you going to make it? Are you going to Grafton this weekend? And I sent him a photo of Cape York. I said, this is where I'm at. And he said, really? So you're not going to make it to Grafton this Saturday? Yeah. Really? No, it's too far away. He rang me up a couple of days ago and he said, where are you? And I said, Austinville. I said, but I got the flu. And he said, you better start taking some heavy meds, he said, because we haven't got any backups. I prayed and the flu and everything broke last night. And this morning I've woke up and I'm feeling really well. God has answered our prayers all the way through the week. And when we live by faith, he will open the doors and close the doors that we need to. And we've got to praise him for that. Okay. Do we have another song or?
There was another song on the thing.
Is there? I'm sorry, I've reorganised you, haven't I?
That's all right.
I'll just bring this back down for you.
Oh, that's up there. We don't need that.
Oh, yes, we do. We've got to hear your good voices.
Okay, so the next song, I believe, is 183, I Will Sing Jesus. And we can stand for this one as well. I mean, I like you all standing.
Do I need to unplug my computer?
Oh, we've really upset the apple cart now, haven't we?